Morning, another beautiful day in God's kingdom. I don't know if you're like me, but if I attend a powerful service and everything has been buzzing and I felt the spirit of God, and it's like the man of God, the woman of God then comes to a point and they say, you know what, now we're going to pray. And I want you to ask for one thing that you want God to do for you. And I'm there thinking, one thing. I have so many things on my mind. I mean, so many things I want God to do for me. How do I zero it to one thing? But that is what we find when we look at the book of 1 Kings. And in 1 Kings chapter 3, First Kings chapter 3, let's read what it says from verse 4. Let's go to verse 4. It says, and the king, talking about King Solomon, it says he went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. And 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. And then the Bible says in verse 5, in Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, ask what I shall give thee. Ask what I shall give thee. And somehow, as a king, I mean, if that was me, to be honest, I'd probably be up all night trying to create this long list, unending list. But somehow Solomon is able to zero into one thing, and he asks in verse 9, he says, give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this so great? I'm sorry, this that is so great a people. So Solomon basically asked for one thing. He says, just give me a wise and understanding heart that I'll be able to, that I'll be able to judge and I'll be able to be an effective king. He says, give me that one thing. And he's able to zero into one thing. And I'm thinking, you know what? Hey, but he had a great antecedent. The Bible tells us, he had been looking to his father perhaps, because the Bible tells us in Psalm 27, David, King Solomon's dad, David says in Psalm 27 verse 4, it says, one thing I have desired of the Lord, that will I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. Another version puts it this way and says, the one thing I ask of the Lord, the thing I seek most, is to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, delighting in the Lord's perfections and meditating in his temple. Hey, so you see, Solomon had a good example to follow. He knew what to fall back on. When his father was writing the Psalms and praying, meditating, this is what King David asked. He said, I want one thing. The most important thing of all, that one thing is to dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. And for us as believers, hey, and for me, I think that is a good prayer to pray, isn't it? That no matter what, if I'm stuck in that place, I'm thinking, I have 1 million things I want to ask for, and I've been asked to narrow it down to one thing. I think I can pray that prayer, and that will be very effective to ask and to ask of the Lord that I may dwell in his house all the days of my life, delighting in his perfections and meditating in his temple. That's a good prayer, isn't it? God bless you. Have a beautiful, amazing day.